Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Grown Ups, the podcast. Hey, Ellie, how are you?
Hi, everybody. Hi, Meggie. Happy Monday. Girl, I'm good. We're actually recording this on a Monday, guys. So the vibes might not be there because, it's only the start of the week and the week has been hectic already. How are you, my girl? How's the sun? How's it making you feel? Ugh, how you doing? Good
Like this. I
vibes then. It's
love
bringing good vibes.
it. Is also, I went to a conference today in a really fancy hotel, and I was like,
Oh, she's
this is
international.
this is the kind of life. Like, if I the day I can afford to stay in that hotel, like when like you walk into a rich space and it just smells different. Like it literally smells nice. Like the vibe is
Yeah.
different. Everyone's super lovely and accommodating. It's just like,
hmm
I love it.
I love that for you. What was it for? Was it work related? That's so cool.
Yeah, we've got because we've got a team here in Brazil. They don't have an office here. There's just a couple of people here, but they were doing like a session, like a panel speaking things. Someone in my company was, so I went just to support. But it was lovely. But what I want to tell you about is, in light of
Go ahead, girl.
it being, is it Women's Day in March or is it Women's Month? I don't know.
I know that I think it's International Women's Day, so you will be listening to this on a Monday, so it will be last Thursday for everyone listening. Or is it Friday? It's either Thursday or Friday. Girl, it's sometime last week. It was International Women's Day. So happy Women's Day to all our lovely lady listeners.
Yes, so happy Women's Day, everyone. And let's celebrate it the whole month and every day of our lives because women are incredible.
Of
Um,
course.
so on Saturday, I actually went to a Women's Day event.
Love
So
that.
it was, oh my God, it was so cool. Like I walked in and like they're super lovely. Your entrance, you didn't have to pay a ticket to go in, but you had to bring 1 kg of non-perishable food because they were like donating it to charities and stuff. I was
What
like,
a beautiful way to organise an event.
I know, I loved it
Wow.
already. I walk in and there's like this big glittery vulva on the wall. And I was just like, oh, I'm at
Shut
home.
up. Love
Yeah.
that.
So the day it was went from 10 a.m. till 8 p.m. It was like a whole day's event. It started off with like a free yoga session and everyone was like doing yoga together. Then there was
What?
yeah, there was loads of panel talks with loads of different experts and they were talking about like imposter syndrome, like what is how
hmm
to deal with that, how to be more confident, how to love your body, just all these lovely things. Um, and there was like free massage booths, there was free tarot reading, all of these like really cool things. There was a flash tattoo
Wow.
place, like if you wanted to get a tattoo you could get a tattoo. Like it,
This
honestly,
is
it was the
so
coolest event.
cool.
Yeah. And I
They
learned
need to
then
bring this
there,
to England, boy.
I know. Then I learned
Oh,
there was a panel on like about sex basically and sex
mhm.
education, and I learned a few facts that really shocked me.
Hit us with it. Go ahead.
So, apparently, the name vagina. Obviously, I learnt all of this in Portuguese, so I think it translates into English. But
Mhm.
anyways, just forewarning. Um, the name vagina was created by men, and it used to be the name of what you put a sword in. So it was like that was the name of the item you'd put a sword into, like a sword holder. So
Shut up.
already from there, it's a male centric view of the vagina that we have from the beginning, and that's why, because it's always been from men, it's been really difficult to get a real understanding of like female pleasure and stuff like that. Like we didn't know what the clitoral muscle looked like until 2016. That was
No,
the first
Maggie.
3D model.
Bruv, like, I have a sword holder. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what it's there for. It's a sword holder. That's wild. That's so
I
funny as well.
know. Like before
What?
then, they thought it was just like the what you can see on the outside, when actually it's a whole thing. Like look at what the clitoris looks like, the organ, what it looks like. The purpose of the organ is purely for pleasure. There's nothing else. Like that is its only purpose ever. And because the first 3D model of that was only released in 2016, that means the science has really only just begun about female pleasure and what about the female anatomy in general. And
2016. That's so recent.
2016, it's so recent. Scientifically, women should be having better sex than men because women have over 10,000 nerve endings in their vaginal area, whereas men have 4,000. So there's a massive orgasm gap,
What?
but there shouldn't be, because women should be having more orgasms than men. But because we've been taught about sex from a male centric perspective, it means women have been suffering. Um, but it was so interesting. And then the biggest thing that I learned was how many sorry guys, I know this is not a sex podcast, but it is about growing up, and part of
I'm
growing up
loving
is
this.
this. How many holes do you think the so by the way, also the vagina is just the hole in which your period comes, like menstruation comes out of. The vulva is the whole area. So how many holes do you think the vulva has?
Not me embarrassing myself on this podcast. I thought it only had two.
So did I. That's what most people voted. The urethra, where your pee comes out of, and
Yeah.
the vagina, where your menstruation comes out of. Bitch, there's 6. Let me educate you real quick because I was also shocked.
Six.
So the first is the urethra, so that's where your urine comes out of. Next to that, there's 2 glands, and that is where you would squirt from, people that squirt, basically. So there's 2 glands there that can secrete fluids. Then you've got the vagina, so where menstruation comes out of. And next to that, you've got 2 glands, and that's responsible for lubrication, which is obviously very important, and all of that side of things. So actually,
Shut
there's
up.
6. Yeah.
I'm still giving myself a point personally because, these 4 glands, they're not exactly sword holders. So I'm still giving myself a point. That's mental though.
But
Who
like, it's just
knew?
like the fact that we don't even know things like this, like that we're just so uneducated on that is insane in this day and age. But yeah, anyways, I found the event really useful. There was also talks about um overall like femininity and like how to step into your femininity. And then the last session, you are going to laugh, it was the last session was titled how to live in a tantric state. So I really wanted to find that out because I know I've heard about tantric sex, but I don't really know too much about it. But living in a state of tantra is just really about like being really connected with your body and really like in tune. So it's not just about sex, but it will help you to have better sex.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm like, cool, can't wait to listen and understand all of this. So we get there, and there's like loads of blindfolds in the middle. She's like, everyone put on a blindfold. I'm like, oh, here we go. The whole session, yeah, I'm in a blindfold. So
Gutted.
it
How
starts
long was
off
it?
an hour. It felt like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, but I think it was an hour. Um, so she was like, to put on your blindfolds, and she started playing some music, like you can imagine the music, like dun, 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 like nothing like
Yeah.
weird music in it, alternative music. She starts playing that, and she's like, just move if you want to move, like just do whatever your body wants to do. I'm like, oh my god, this is some white people shit. Like this is some real
I'm
alternative shit.
dying.
But I'm like, in this life, let me experience new things. So I was like, let me really give myself to this experience and experience something new. So let me try not to laugh at this and let me really try to just be in this moment. Um, Kind of cool. So I'm like swaying or whatever. And then she puts on Shakira. And I'm like, well, this is my tune. So I'm like whining and all of this. And she's like, literally, like, just dance like literally no one's watching because no
Oh,
one
you're
is watching.
standing
Like,
up.
yeah, like it's this massive hall. this massive space. I'm actually there will be a TikTok on this, guy, so you can actually see what all of this whole day looked like. But yeah, like, so everyone's dancing, blah blah, and she was like, the point of that was really to just open up, so you really
Yeah.
get out of your body and like just let go, kind of thing. Because when people are watching, it's quite hard to. But if you know everyone's blindfolded, just
Mm.
do as you do. So cool. I'm enjoying it at this point. I'm like, I love this song. I love dancing, blah blah. So cool. And then the weird music comes back on. And she's like, for the whole time, basically, she's talking us through things whilst the music's in the background. And she's like, she'll say things like, think about what you want for this year, for example. Think about that and like just dance into it, kind of. Go. When I say it was some weird shit.
I'm
And
not gonna
then
lie, I don't feel like I would feel weirded out by this. It sounds really good.
it was, but it is kind of weird. So, well, let
It's
me carry
different.
on. It's different, yeah. And then, so I'm like, cool. I'm like thinking about all the things that I want, blah, blah. Then she was like, touch a part of your body that you're like insecure about. And it could be a physical thing, but it could be maybe you're insecure about something that like you think about. So maybe it's the way you talk to yourself that you don't like, and you're insecure about your intelligence or something. So touch that part of your body, so your mind, your stomach, your thighs, whatever, and really just like forgive yourself for that, for like thinking like this. And it was so beautiful. Like the whole thing was like to just love
It
yourself
sounds
more.
magical.
It was really
Yeah.
gorgeous, and I actually really recommend people doing this at home in like for 20 minutes or whatever. And it's like, like some people hold a lot of regret and stuff like that, and it's just like, just forgive yourself for that, and like forgive yourself for not loving your body 100% like you feel like you should. Just like
Mm.
be in a state of like acceptance of who you are and stuff like that. So then there was that session, and then like it kind of was like a full circle. So like you open up, you figure out like what is it that is the issue, what are you trying to resolve, and then it was like, what are you grateful for? Like list things that you're grateful for, and think about the people you love, the things in life that you love. And like, oh, by the way, the whole time you're like dancing.
My
I couldn't see what
ting.
other people were doing in it, but I'm dancing. She was telling us to dance. I was
How
dancing.
do you not bump into
Um,
other people?
I don't know. Everyone was just really respectful. I don't know, because you're not like stepping everywhere. Like you're staying pretty much in your zone. I kind of
Okay.
tapped people's shoulders and stuff, and then you figure out, okay, I'm a bit too close. But I don't know. Somehow it worked out. Um, and then And then she was like, and anything you want to let go of, just scream. So now all of a sudden, the room is screaming like, like literally like, ah.
Mental.
And I was screaming too. I was like, this is so weird. Like, this is just so weird. It's like nothing I've ever done before. But it was really nice. Like a lot of people started crying and stuff. Like I didn't start crying. I
Mm.
feel like I gave 80% of myself. I didn't give 100% of myself, because it's still like a very new thing to me. But it was really cool. And then at the end, she was like, put out your hands and like just touch someone's hand if you feel someone. And I'd like touched people on either side. And it was so weird. It was like this weird energy with like a good energy was like exchanged, like just from holding someone's hand, and I have no idea whose hand I'm holding.
Hmm.
Um, and then she was like, walk around, and if you bump into someone, hug them. Bear in mind, we're still blindfolded. So I'm hugging this person who I have no idea who it is. And then there was like a group hug at the end. Like, honestly, it was the weirdest thing I've ever done. But it was such a cute celebration of women, and so like such a positive
Yeah.
energy and feminine energy. I just really liked it. So yeah, happy Women's Day, everyone. And I hope that everyone gets to experience something like this, because it's really cool.
Yeah, what a beautiful start to the podcast. Oh my God. If I'm being honest, it's Monday, man. When I started this podcast, I was feeling very meh. But that's just beautiful. I love that. That makes me feel good. I feel like I would really enjoy that. In our
I
yoga
think you
sessions,
would.
we do similar stuff. Like there was time he put on like Zumba music and we were just doing, and then we were tapping ourselves all over to like get the positive vibrations going and stuff like that. It's like, I love it. I love things that are a bit different, like make you feel in touch with yourself that you wouldn't necessarily do on a normal day.
Yeah, I feel like we don't. I mean, some people do meditate, but I feel like we don't reflect enough, and I feel like we don't
Mm.
think enough. I think we're so stimulated in society by like social media. We've got so many things coming at us all the time. It's just really nice to. But anyways, how was your weekend? How's your everything?
Yeah, girl. Do you know what? I went to see some more houses. I also went, sorry, before I go into that, I went to Taco Social and realized how unathletically gifted I fucking am. Like, bitch, how can I not kick a ball? Is that not like human
Wait,
nature
I've
to be
heard
able
of
to kick a
Tucker
ball?
Social, but what
It's
is it?
basically imagine like, do you know what Top Golf is?
Yeah.
Imagine Top Golf but with a football. So it's like the footballs shoot out at you, and then you've got a screen in front of you, and you've got targets that you need to kick the ball to hit.
Wow, you're really in your athletic era these days.
It's so fun. I love like activities. If there's an activity, yeah, call me. If you're just going out for drinks or food, maybe I'll tag along. But if you're actually doing activity, I'm there all day long. Um, I loved it. It was so fun, but legit, like, couldn't even kick a ball. I was embarrassed. Like, I was looking behind me thinking, oh my God, Billy, who could properly play football, was probably thinking, bruv, is this the girl I want to procreate with? Like, is this what
Yeah.
genes I'm putting into my child? Um, but no, that was fun. Then we went to see a couple houses, and girl, we actually put an offer in, and one got accepted today. I
Oh
know.
my
I'm
god.
slightly freaking out. I don't know how I feel. Like, I was excited, and then I was like, shit, like, that's actually a lot of money. Like,
Wait, is it the 5K, the one that they wanted 5 extra K, or is it a different one?
no, different one. We scrapped that one. This one's in Brentwood. Um, yeah, I won't share too many details, because I just need to see if it actually goes through, and I'm still unsure. I'm slightly panicking.
Wait, what are you unsure about though?
I don't know. Like, the garden is small, the house is small, but a lot of the ones we've been looking at are small because that's what
Mhm.
your money can get you in these areas. But like, it had been on the market for a really long time, which as someone, it just makes me uneasy knowing that it's been on the market for really long. And then I'm like, oh, will there not be demand for it when I come to resell it? Blah, blah, blah. But this is me and my notorious thinking ahead. Like, I know me living there personally, I would be very happy. Like, it's so cute. And I know, like, if Billy, not that he ever would, but if he was to go away for a weekend or anything like that, I'd be very much happy to be there by myself.
Yeah, but also you're gonna redo the whole gaff anyway. So even though it was in the market for ages now, it won't be when you're gonna be selling a completely different house when it comes to you selling it.
Yeah, I think it was less of what needed to be done. It was more of the layout that put people off. And there's not too much we can do with the layout because it's very
Hmm.
restricted. Like, it's a restricted plot. But we will see. Girl, let me update you this time next week and tell you if I'm still going through with it. I don't think I expected it
Oh,
to be accepted. I think I just put it in for fun. I was like, oh, let's make an
oh my god.
offer.
Wait, this is such a big man thing. Like I still can't believe you're doing shit like this. Like, it's actually crazy.
No, my heart is pounding. Like, it's been such an anticlimax. But yeah, we'll see this time. And they have no chains, so like they're desperate for us to get in and take it off their hands. So literally, we could be in within a couple of months, depending on like how the legal side goes and stuff.
Oh,
Fucking mental, mate. But yeah,
that is so exciting.
that was my update. Today was just a big old mess because I'm at work trying to sort everything out. Like, the heart was pounding. I know. But yeah, man, we'll see. That was my cheeky little update. But other than that, life has just been laughing. The boxing training continues. Um, and yeah, everything has just been, I like to say running along smoothly, but bloody hell, I don't think I've ever worked so hard.
Oh, I hate that for you. I really do.
I know, but it's fine because we're learning. We're learning. If we're working hard, we're learning. We're being paid in experience. That's why I keep telling myself.
No, 100% though. You really are. That's facts.
Yeah. But when you guys are listening to this pod, it would have just been Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all our mama listeners and to everyone and their mum.
Yes, happy
Hope you had a
Mother's Day.
wonderful weekend, guys. I haven't really got any plans for Mother's Day. Everyone will come to my house. Your Mother's Day in Brazil is different, isn't it? Do you still
Yeah,
celebrate
so
British Mother's Day? No.
yes, my parents celebrate both British Mother's and Father's Day and Brazilian. So I do have to do that twice, but they deserve it, so it's fine. Obviously, I won't be there for Mother's Day because I will be in Brazil, but I will be with my grandma, which is cute, so I can spend time with her.
Oh, yeah, that would be lovely.
Yeah.
That would be so, so sweet. Um, on that note, though, we're gonna skip. We'll go into our dumb bitch and our dilemmas later in the episode. We'll just ease into our news article, which relates to like being a mum in this day and age, and like in the workforce. And basically, I came across this article that said that in spite of ongoing struggles with recruitment and retention, because obviously the job market is actually like a employees market at the moment. Like there are jobs out there. Um, but despite that, organizations don't always tap into the value and ambition of working mothers. Research
Hmm.
among more than 2,000 working mums found that half believe their chances of a promotion have been negatively impacted just by the simple act of asking for flexible working arrangements. So, like, obviously, needing to leave at a certain time to pick up their child or coming in a bit later
Hmm.
for drop offs, etc. Which is mad in this day and age. Like,
It really is. Like, I don't understand why people need to be chained to their desks from 9 to 5. Like, if someone has a doctor appointment and has to pick up their child, like, let them do it. Just as long as they get the work done.
yeah, 100%. And this one hit me because I'm not gonna lie, I've clocked this one with annual leave already. So I don't know how mums and dads even out there are doing this. But I said they've also pointed to problems with fake flexibility. So companies were happy to offer reduced working hours, but expected the same outputs. One woman said,
Mm.
I was told that management loved it when women came back for a 4-day week because they knew they'd get 5 days work out of them for less pay. How mad?
Do you know what? That is terrible, but I fully believe it because there's someone in my company who works 4 days. That's her
Mm.
contract. But the amount of work that she does, I'm like, how do you get that done in 4 days? Unless she's like incredibly efficient. But I do question it. So I do think I mean, I don't think my company takes the piss. Maybe that's just like
Yeah,
you know, like maybe that's her culture from coming from a corporate side before. Like this is like she's well into her career at this
yeah,
point. But I do think 5 days into four is what people tend to be doing, but they're getting paid less.
yeah. Which is peak. Like, if they're working longer hours as well, it said 2/5, so 40% of the people they discussed this with said they needed to do more work tasks outside of normal working hours since becoming a parent. How wild is that? Like, you're
Damn.
exhausted, you're having to look after someone else on top of yourself, and now you're having to work more hours as well.
No.
Yeah,
It's actually so
it's
hard being a woman. Like it really is because we would never have this conversation about men, no offense, because men don't have this struggle. Like they just don't. They don't have
yeah,
to like rarely. Maybe I'm judging incorrectly, but where usually as well, this is just stereotypical and what I've seen growing up in comparison to like obviously we both just yawned.
fucking
I
hell.
tried to hold
It's,
it in.
it's been a long week, guys. I know it's only Monday, but fucking hell.
No, literally. I was like, should I take a nap before recording this? But like, no, I'm just not a nap person. But anyways, um, like usually on average, men tend to be the breadwinners. So they're not the
Mm,
ones that have to suffer in their careers. So naturally is that like, okay, well, since you're the breadwinner, let's not fumble your bag and let's do my thing. But then it means women can't climb up as easily and then it falls on the woman
yeah.
plus all the physical changes that she has to go through. Oh,
Yeah, bruv. It's so true. And also, I feel like a lot of mums as well, when they take a year out of their career, like if you choose to take full maternity, coming back is hard. Like taking a gap, a whole year out, a lot changes in a year. Like from doing my rotations at work, I know I'm just at the start of my career, so obviously things don't stick as much as when like you've been doing it for 5, 10 years, let's say. But coming back in after a year, I was like, whoa. I felt like I was starting from scratch. Like I had
mate,
to really
even sometimes like
refresh.
you go on annual leave and your company has done so many things in that 2 weeks that you were off. Like that happens as well. So I can't even imagine over a year, like trying to re-update yourself on the culture and everything that's going on. Like it's a lot.
No, it's mental. But basically, we just wanted to touch on this because whilst we're still young, and if I'm being honest, I am not ready for that phase of my life. We know that some of our listeners definitely are, and we were just intrigued to see like how you guys perceived being a parent and working at the same time. Oh, it's all going down in Maggie's neighborhood. I'm
Oh my
hearing
God, can
Nino,
you hear
Nino,
that?
Nino.
So I'm actually sorry, just a quick side note on this, yeah. I booked an Airbnb and it's like it's quite it's not quite it's not like fancy, it's just nice. It's acceptable
Yeah,
in it. But in Sao Paulo, like there's only certain areas that are good. Everywhere else is fuckeries, yeah. Like
yeah.
I'm in one of the fuckeries areas. Like there are crackheads everywhere.
God
So
forbid.
that police siren is normal. I'm just like I'm in the Croydon of Sao Paulo right now. It's actually so ghetto.
Okay, I'm praying for your health and your safety, please. Stay safe.
Thanks.
I'm glad you know the language, just like home for you. Because otherwise that would be freaking
Yeah.
scary.
Do you know what? I feel safe because of the exchange rate. Ubers are so cheap, so it's like Uber everywhere. It's not a problem.
Yeah, good. Good that you can afford that. Good. Um, yeah, but basically, we just wanted to get your thoughts and feelings on this. Like, how has it not changed still to this day? Like, you would have thought now that men are getting a bit more paternity leave, values are changing from what they were historically. So we asked for your thoughts. We started with our poll and we asked a few different questions just to gauge your thoughts and feelings. So first of all, we said, do you want children in the future? And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like with our generation, less and less people consider having children, or for less and less people, is it like a deal breaker? What would you have thought people had said in terms of yes, I want children, no, I don't?
I'm just thinking about my friends. I'd say like 60% of my friends want kids, maybe 70. So that's why I would think yes, 70% want kids.
That was pretty good going. 74% yes, 26% no.
Oh my God, I didn't even look at the results. I just guessed it like that.
Yeah, that was impressive. I would have said less. But now you say actually, when I think about my friends, quite a lot of them do want kids.
Do you know what it is? Like, can you hear the siren again?
It's fine,
That is
girl.
actually so annoying. Um, do you know
Feels
what
like
it
home.
is?
Honestly, I live at the end of my road is a dispatch center. So I have sirens all day long,
Oh,
and I live like so. At one end of the road is a dispatch center, and then round the corner is a hospital. So literally, and then a fire engine as well across the road, a fire station even. So
yeah.
sirens is my norm.
Well, sorry if anyone's listening to this and sirens are not there. No, I can't do much about it. But no, yeah, I feel like a lot of women are now more opinionated on the matter, and a lot of women are now saying they want to wait. I think that's the big difference, is that a lot of women want to wait until later to have children, which wasn't the case before. But
Yeah,
I do still see that a lot of women do still have the desire to have kids. So I think 70%, 74% doesn't shock me.
yeah, that makes sense actually. That does sound about right. And then we asked if you would take time off to raise your children. This really surprised me. I mean, we didn't specify time, but when I say take time off, I'm assuming like not just your normal maternity, like you're actually taking time off.
Yeah, because maternity leave is shit anyways. Like, what is that, like 6 months or something?
I think it's 6 months full pay, or a couple months full pay, and then it just dwindles out,
Yeah, it
basically.
depends on your company. Like,
Yeah.
that's not something that I have to look at, but yeah. Um, but still, maternity leave or longer to actually like raise your kids. Yeah. Okay. So what did the people say?
65% said yes, I want to be fully present. And 35% said no, I'm staying focused on my career. Again, more than I
Yeah.
expected to say yes.
That is actually more than I expected as well. I wouldn't think that.
I mean, that's the dream. Maybe not like, obviously, I know your position on kids. You're like, probably less so, right? Less so wanting to have them. I think I probably will. but I do think about like not anytime soon. Definitely not. Um,
Yeah.
and the dream would be to be able to take time off and actually raise them and spend time with them. Or like maybe once you have children, go to like a 3-day working week. Because I still like the independence and the socialization that you get from working.
Yeah, it
I
does give
wouldn't,
you a different purpose.
yeah, I wouldn't want my sole purpose to be like, even though obviously there's nothing wrong with this at all, to be at home with the kids. Like I'd want to do something outside of that. But that would be the dream. Like how nice would that be? Oh,
I
but
mean,
it's
that sounds
just
like a nightmare to me, I can't lie. Only because, like, I mean, not that I'm saying that people that do this are living in a nightmare, because they're not, but for me, that would be my nightmare. Like, when I was growing up, me and my brother have 11 years difference between each other.
mm,
So he's 11 years younger. And I remember being in secondary school, and like you have 6 weeks summer holidays, and I'd be looking after him in those 6 weeks summer holidays. Having to entertain him every day was so jarring. Like, and
yeah.
even now that I'm older and I haven't, like, obviously someone might be listening to this like, yeah, but you were a teenager then, you wanted to do different things. Even now, being older and seeing what that reality was like and what that reality would be like for me now that I like have a job and like stuff like that, and it'd be completely different, obviously. I still have zero desire to do that. Like, that genuinely
Yeah.
sounds like, I think about it, I'm like, oh my god, like that sounds awful to me. That sounds literally awful to me. So
No, girl, I hear it.
yeah.
I actually hear it. Sometimes I have my nieces and nephews and I'll have them for a little while and I'm like, oh, this is so cute. And then I'm like, I'm bored. Like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
What do I do with them
I think
next? I
there's
just want to
like,
chill.
babies are super boring. Like, they,
Yeah.
because they just sleep, which is but it's good in the sense that like you can still get shit done because most of the time they are just sleepy. You just need to feed them, etc. Although
Guys, I'm
you are
so
sleep deprived.
sorry if you are watching this fucking episode because a bitch is yawning 24/7. Like,
You're literally yawning like every
I'm
10 seconds. I
so
can't lie.
sorry. Once it hits me, yeah, I keep yawning. Like it's like a cycle. It's a habit.
Well, on that note, like, yeah, when you have a baby, you're mad sleep deprived.
Yeah.
So though during the day, like, they're not really doing much, you are sleep deprived. And then as a toddler, that's really where the work begins, because you're trying to teach them to walk, talk, live, be kind people, and they have tantrums, and it's, oh,
Oh
that,
yeah.
gosh, your hands are full. They're literally full all the time. And then for me, there's a really sweet spot when they're like children, and now they can talk, they can feed themselves, they can shower themselves. They are independent in a sense, but they're really funny. Like, kids come out with some funny stuff, and that's
No,
like the sweet spot for me. And they're at school all
sis.
day as well.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good. We like school. Let me tell you what my nephews did the other day. So there's two of them. One's 4, one's 6, and one of them goes to the older one goes to my sister, his mum. He's like, "Mum, do you want to go to heaven or hell?" And the little one goes, "Don't talk about that. You're gonna make me sick." And then just throws up everywhere.
You're joking. You're
Bless
joking.
his cotton socks. And then he recovers. Bear in mind, he didn't throw up at all after that. Like, that just made him throw up. And then
That is so funny.
he goes to his brother. He was like, "You don't talk anymore because you make me sick."
Like, he didn't lie. He said, you
He's four
physically make me
years
sick.
old. They are so fucking funny. Like, honestly, I live for the updates in the group chat about like what my nieces and nephews have done because it kills me. They're
It
jokes. They're
is
absolute
funny.
jokes.
There's so many like funny things, but yeah, like, you just, I feel like people don't deep the responsibility of
Yeah.
raising a child. Like, if you haven't been fortunate enough to be around to have like small kids in your family or whatever,
Mhm.
you really don't see the everyday reality of what it's like. It's really cute, and it's like, it's a cool experience and stuff, but people forget they're raising a human being that
Mhm.
has to participate in our society, and it's so much more than like even if you think about the people that we encounter on a day to day at work, and like, some people are so unreasonable and so rude. Like, a lot of
Yeah.
that is due to how they were raised. Like, you are raising that person. Obviously there's different environmental factors, whatever,
Mhm.
but I feel like people don't deep the responsibility of the everyday you are molding this human being. Like, how they learn at
Yeah.
school is ultimately going to be down to you, of how you taught them things when they were growing up,
Mhm.
how they treat their girlfriend or boyfriend, might be from what things that they have witnessed. Of course, things can change depending on who they become friends with and stuff, but it's such a big responsibility that I think people don't think about enough.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. One of my sisters is going away for a weekend for her 40th. And she was like, "Do you want to babysit for the weekend?" And I was like, perfect fucking opportunity to show Billy how hard it actually is. Yes, please. Sign
Oh,
us
yeah.
up. Yeah, she's deciding whether they're going to drop them at the parents-in-laws or whether we have them. But I was like, mate, this will show Billy that we need to wait because
Oh
they
my
are hard
God.
fucking work. Like, oh,
I can't
kudos
even imagine
to
how,
any
like,
mums
your
listening
relate.
right now.
Yeah, like how it even the I didn't even think about your relationship, how that
Mm.
changes as well after you have kids. Like that's a whole other kettle of fish that I have no idea about.
Yeah, boy, absolute kudos to all of y'all. Um, but our final question in our poll was just, do you think being a parent impacts career progression? And 62% said yes. And I honestly feel like this is so real. It does. Without a doubt, it does. Like, even me, when I was deciding what role I wanted to go into in when I was finishing my rotations, I did speak to an older colleague because only a lot of my colleagues are very young. They're all male. Only one
Hmm.
has a child. And like it is noticeably different how even he, as a male, has a different career path to the rest of them. Because he's like, I need to get
Right.
home for school pickup. Or my wife has this tonight, I need to go look after. He calls his little one Bug, is so cute. Or like
That is
when I
cute.
know it's really cute, he's like, oh, like a really cute father. Um, and just things like that, like the way his life revolves around, oh, I'm doing this with my girl, or da 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 da, taking her here, taking her there, and you can see his career has taken a different path to those who don't have any commitments and are mad outgoing
Mm.
and can be in the office 5 days a week, all hours God sends. It's so noticeable, and I don't know whether you can ever really whether you can change that. Like if someone wants to devote their whole life, their everything to their career and that is their like personality almost, compared to someone who actually has roles and responsibilities outside of their career. Like they can't really compete. It's like comparing pears and apples, you know what I mean?
Apples and oranges.
Yeah, like they're not the same. It's not gonna be the same. Your experience is gonna be different. And it's kind of peak, but at the same time you have so much enjoyment, I guess, raising your
Yeah,
child.
it's just
Like
it's what fulfills you. Like
mm,
ultimately for your colleague, like raising his family is what fulfills him, and that's
yeah.
completely fine. I think it's just a privilege to have the choice
Mhm.
to be able to make that decision and really think about what is it that you will get fulfillment from. And if that's your career, that's okay. And if that's kids, that's also okay.
Yeah. But happy Mother's Day, guys. And we hope those of you that are working mums and dads, you're having an enjoyable experience. And if anyone has had any experiences where they're like, nah, this was wild, please do send them in.
So we did actually have a couple of like opinions on this topic. So someone said it's something I desperately want, so being a parent, but I'm scared to be financially dependent on someone else. And I think that's the big thing as well, is that people don't think about the finance side of it. Because if you do
Mm,
want to give up your career to be a parent, or if you want to do the 3 days work week instead or whatever, that's going to take a loss on you, going to take a hit on your finances, and you need to think about, can I do this? And to I imagine, okay, like if you're saying, okay, me and my husband or me and my partner as a couple, we can do this, but it does mean you're relying on that other person for their money. And what if something goes wrong? Like that's scary.
yeah, it's intense. You have to be solid with your partner. Like, you have to be willing to work through the ups and downs. I think about this so
Mm.
literally, like buying my first house now, thinking about it anyway, potentially go through with it with Billy. I'm like, cool, we'll probably live in this house for like 5 years. At which point, like we've discussed this several times, we'll be 30, and that's the age at which he would really like kids. And I'm like, shit, 5 years and everything could be different. So then I'm thinking, okay, what do we need to do to this house to make money? Where would we move in 5 years? Is it big enough if we couldn't sell it in 5 years? Let's just say there was no demand or the market crashed. Like, is this big enough to raise a child? Like, this is shit I'm thinking about. And I'm like, raw. Maybe I'm thinking a bit too long
Wow.
term, but yeah, girl,
I'm
it's
really
feeling
thinking about
serious.
what's the next destination that I'm going to? Like, that's my biggest hassle at the moment.
Oh, the
No, but
joys.
that's real. But I feel like, but if you do want to be a parent, you do need to have that foresight, because you
Hmm.
do need to plan ahead. And if you want to be a really good parent, this is exactly the kind of conversations you need to be having with your partner. So it makes sense. It really makes sense. On that note, someone
Yeah.
said they really want to have children, but they don't have a partner yet, and they're worried about becoming an older mum because they haven't found a partner yet. And that's the other thing. Like, boy, finding the right person to have kids with. I've always been
Yeah.
told you should the person that you end up with, if you had a mini version of them, like if your child ended up like your partner, would you be happy? And that's how you know if you're with the right person or not, because it shows how much you actually like your partner. Because if your child has, which ultimately your child will have the characteristics of your partner, are you happy with that? And if the answer is yes, cool. But if it's no, you should really reevaluate. So finding the right partner, that's important.
Do you know what? I feel like sometimes this is something that I overlook and I don't deep. How cringe. How lucky I am. Like, Billy kind of just
Aww.
fell into my lap. Skirt. He did just fall into my lap. Like, we met so young. It wasn't really like I wasn't
Yeah.
looking for Prince Charming. I was just looking for someone to, like have my first
Fuck. No, joking.
relationship. Get a bit frisky. Like and now I like you just said, I would look at him and be like, if my child ended up like him, I'd be very, very happy. Um
Mm.
but girl or guy, whoever sent this in, like your person will come. And I know it's so annoying when people say that, especially like when I'm in a relationship myself. But in God's plan, they will. And when the time is right, the time is right. And I actually think we're very lucky in that nowadays people are having kids a lot older. Like I know my mum had me at 42. One of my sisters had her first kid at maybe, I think she was like 33. Another one had her first at 31. Like it's very common now to have your kids a lot older, and science is better. The world is more like open to that being an
Mm-hmm.
option. So I wouldn't worry too much. Like obviously fertility is one thing that you obviously do need to keep an eye on, but science is way better now to promote being an older parent than it was back in the day. So your chances are much higher. And yeah, fingers crossed you find your Prince Charming.
100%.
Yeah, should we do one more? Someone said, as someone who wants kids, I always look at maternity packages. They're so awful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that there's also like maternity packages and paternity packages. Paternity leave is what, like 2 weeks? It's something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like it's 2 weeks. Like, please,
That
as
is
a woman, I need more support than
wild.
that.
No, I think about this frequently. So some places are starting to do 6 months paternity leave, which I think is phenomenal. Like that's amazing. It kind of levels the playing field for men and women as well, coming back to the workplace. But also,
Hmm.
yeah, as a woman, like one, the man might want in some. If I'm not gonna lie, when I speak to people at my firm who've had kids, they're like, "Nah, 2 weeks was enough for me, mate." But then you get
I
other
bet it
people.
was.
Then you get
Yeah.
other people who actually would love to spend more time with their kids. And yeah, as a woman, you need way more support. 2 weeks, 2 weeks postpartum, and you're like, all right, on your own.
Yeah, like, oh gosh, because you're trying to recover your body, like
Mm.
physically, but also like all the chemicals that are going on inside your body that are, well, like so much is happening.
Yeah,
And you're
it's
trying to adjust to like
scary.
being a parent. It's mad. It's mad.
It's actually mental. One of my sisters as well, like talking about paternity packages, she fell pregnant with her first child when she hadn't been in her job over a year. And typically you have to be in your job over a year to get a maternity package. Um,
Oh, I didn't know
so
that.
she went back to work after a month of giving birth because she was not being paid at all.
Oh my God. That's
Yeah, like there was
terrible.
no maternity package in place. I think the way it worked, maybe she got like some statutory for that month and then she had to return. But it was mental. Like that is seriously something. Obviously, at this stage of my life, I'm not even thinking about that yet. but it really is something worth considering. Like, I couldn't even
No,
tell you what my firm's maternity package is. Not something I looked
I
at.
only know because one of my like colleagues, she was pregnant recently. She just gave birth, so she was telling me about it.
Mm,
But yeah, otherwise I wouldn't have looked as well. I actually reached out to this woman on LinkedIn who's a CEO, and I met up with her for coffee.
yeah.
And I was asking her like, how did she balance being a mother and a CEO at the same time? And she was like, I can't lie, I did not have a good balance. She said she gave birth, and the next day she was in the office. Yeah, she was like, because I felt the
Holy
pressure because
shit.
like she wasn't as she was a fund manager, so she managed people's money, and she was
Yeah.
like, it wasn't that the company demanded me to come back, but I felt the pressure that I was in charge of someone's money and I wasn't there, and I was like, girl, you crazy. But she was saying she regrets that, like she regrets giving her all like that. So I think and also that was like 20 years ago. The
Yeah.
world is changing, and that just wouldn't be as acceptable now, but I think it's really hard for mothers to find a balance for sure.
The next day, I actually can't get over that.
Hmm.
That is crazy. Wow. Women are freaking impressive. Damn, it feels wrong to go into my favorite feature of the pod right now, but we're going to. We're going to call it here on the Mother's Day kind of episode saga. Thank you so much for responding to us, guys, and for your input. I think that is, I will always find that such an interesting topic.
Me too.
Because God willing, but one day I will actually, yeah, experience it and see how I manage to balance it for myself. But as always, in our pod, we have to do in this week's episode of Being a Dumb Bitch. What do the people
Hmm.
have for us, girl?
So, in this week's episode of Being a Dumb Bitch, I made a rookie error and didn't check the weather forecast today. Long story short, I've just arrived home after an hour plus commute.
Mm.
I bet it was on the TFL. I bet it was on the TFL. Um, my whole bag is saturated and my laptop
Oh.
is very much dead. Oh god, this is so peak.
Oh.
Luckily, everything is backed up, but now I have to go in tomorrow in one of my work from home days and suffer that long commute again. From me to you, please check the weather forecast before leaving the house.
I can say this is something I do every day. Okay, no, maybe not every day. Like frequently. If I get an inkling that it's going to rain, I always check the weather forecast.
Do you know what I do as well? And I have like this massive umbrella, and sometimes it doesn't rain when it says it's going to rain. So now I'm walking around with this massive umbrella. So I think it's always good to
Yeah.
have like one of those pocket ones in your bag for
Yeah.
just in case.
I agree. And that laptop is so peak. You're so lucky it's a work laptop and not your personal. Imagine if you didn't have a work laptop and that was your personal laptop. I'd actually cry.
I would physically cry tears, 100%.
Yeah, that's so sure. That is the one good thing about corporates when they provide you with equipment because they will replace that shit. Like,
They will.
yeah, literally, so many people in my work have had their stuff stolen from like being at the pub and stuff.
Oh
Literally
my.
every other week you'll hear of someone getting something stolen. Yeah, and the next day replaced. Like these corporates, they're good for it. I'll give them
They
that.
are. They are.
Shame
They
about your
are.
commute though. That's peak on your working from home day.
I know.
That
That
is
is so
one way
sad.
to ruin the night, boy. Like you get home from work, you just want to chill out. You know, oh, I don't need to pack my lunch. Don't need to think about what I'm gonna wear tomorrow because I'm working from home. Nope, you have to think
Oh,
about
that is
it.
so sad. That is so sad.
Yeah, I'm really feeling sorry for you. But I feel like this has been a good lengthy episode. We might cut the dilemmas this week.
Yeah.
Save them for next week. Keep it lighthearted. We've got quite a few. Do keep sending them in, guys. And thank you so much for listening. As always, if you have any thoughts, feedback, dilemmas, anything you want our input on, we'd love to hear from you. Send it in to grownupspodcast@gmail.com or
DM us at Grown Ups the Podcast.
thanks,
Bye.
guys. Bye.